Welcome. In front of me I have the DJI Osmo Action 6 and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the action cam itself. This is some adventure combo, so I guess we're gonna see what's in that combo here. And we also have a little bit of listening right here, so 1.5 meter extended rod. Okay. What the hell is Xtreme Battery Plus? That is the most corporate bullshit name you can come up with. Just say 3 packs of batteries or something, or switchable battery. Wow, you don't need to name it any special snowflakey way. Multifunctional battery case, cool, to be expected when you have multiple batteries. Now at the back we have some information, all new 1 by 1.1 inch square sensor and variable aperture. Huh? That's actually surprising. Okay, that seems like a cool feature. So we have 2.2 to 4 aperture and cold resistance and 4-hour battery life, though it doesn't say what cold resistance really refers to, like what the actual temperature is, so it's probably written somewhere, but I'm not gonna go too far into this. Osmo audio, whatever, just microphone, and 50 gigabyte built-in. 50 gigs? Are you sure here, Osmo? I thought that we have a shortage of storage. Anyway, so that's a pretty hefty storage size right here built into the device. Props for that. That is freaking great. And 20 meter waterproofing, which is also great. So 20 meters, pretty decent depth. So anyway, I just pop it open. Oh, okay. That's actually a neat packaging. I'm gonna take it all out. Oh, and at the bottom we have the rod. Go gadget rod. Okay, so damn, that's actually, maybe zoom out just a little bit so you can have a bit better look at this. Make some more, overblow the hell out of this. Yep, there we go, perfect. So you can see this is, oh, whoa, what the hell? How long is this? How long was this? This is, oh, it's 1.5 meters. Okay. For some reason I just glanced over that and like didn't really grasp the length of it, but yeah, this is pretty long and pretty well built. Like there is very little flex to this. Super light too, and it actually feels nice, high quality. So that is a pretty nice rod. We're talking about this, not other rods. Anyway, let's go in here and let's move the light out of the way so I can start overblowing everything. There we go, a little bit better. We have stickers and instructions. No one cares about that. Yeesh. Next we have a packaging that I certainly won't be able to put back together. And we have our 2 little thingy things, so we can, for instance, screw it in here. So anyway, move on. I don't really know how to call those, so let's just keep it at thingy thing, which is the best way to describe it. Next we have dual Type-C cable. Moving on, we have another thingy thing. Now, there we go. So this part attaches to the action cam actually, and it would feed through here, obviously, if you don't know. Not like that, because that, as you've seen, that kind of falls off. But we have another one right here, and the other one is designed for this. What am I? Lightness? I can't hold things in my hand? What the hell? Come on. Okay, so in here you can see we have the second kind of mounting. So this could be, for instance, glued to your helmet, bike helmet, and obviously you can attach it to the action cam to this. So let's just smack that back in there. And lastly is the battery pack. Come on, there we go. The battery pack is actually relatively compact, as you can see. That's something that can drop into your pocket in your pants, and you're good to go. And the batteries themselves are almost 2,000 milliamps each, so we have about 6,000 milliamps combined battery here. I guess you can call that way, or capacity. And lastly, let's take a look at the actual action cam. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than I expected. That's what she said. There we go. So we have two screens, one front, one back. I think we do need to pop in the battery first. There we go. Yeah. So, anti-moisture. So let's grab one of these battery packs and slide it in here. Cool. Clicks into place. I don't remember which company had this kind of god-awful design. I think it was GoPro, actually, where they didn't have a locking latch and you just kind of, push it only up. And as a waterproof kind of device that this kind of all barely even could keep itself closed, that was a crappy design. But here, the latch that you need to actually pull to the side before you can push it upwards. Otherwise, you won't be able to open it up no matter how hard you try. So that is a good design right here. Obviously, will improve the waterproofing and also apart from waterproofing, the reliability of waterproofing, because obviously if this opens up, waterproofing means absolutely nothing when water gets to the battery, which this is not waterproof. Neither is any of these. Now, we do have an unscrewable little lens right here. Obviously, if it gets scratched, you can replace it. So that's pretty nice. And additionally, this also adds something else. So there could be, I don't know if DJI sells them or not, but if they do, that's great. If they don't, I'm pretty sure someone else will make those. Lens filters. So obviously just unscrew it, pop in a new lens filter, and you're good to go. Which is a super nice kind of thing for versatility and obviously removing maybe, I don't know, excess amount of brightness or, as an example, reflections, stuff like that. So yeah, lens filters could be great here. Now let's boot it up, which, what is this actually? Oh, it's just our Type-C port. Okay. Again, also has a latch. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. Oh, and this is the part where I will just completely start shitting on this because I despise this bullshit. This has no place on any device. I don't care what it is. There is no effing place for this bullshit. So, this comes with, like I mentioned before, 50 gigabytes built-in storage. Okay, great. I mean, that's plenty enough storage. So why the high heaven fuck do I need to connect this to a phone to use it when I swipe this, but only 5 times, I will be able to use it. But only 5 times. After that, go f yourself. So it works perfectly fine right now. Is there a reason why you want my fucking data from my phone? Or just because go fuck yourself? So, as you can probably tell, I genuinely hate DJI products, and no matter how nice I was about the packaging right here, I despise this bullshit. And the reason I despise this, and I don't actually recommend getting DJI particularly as a action cam, is because of this piece of shit right here. So, you get a camera that needs, and that is not like negotiable. After 5 times, you're not gonna be able to use this piece of shit. And from there, it needs to connect to your device to be used, even though it's well incapable of working without the fucking phone. As it's literally proven right now. It's working. I can record. Swipe down. Nope, it's already recording. Would you look at that? So it's recording just fine. I can capture, I can change the settings on here, if I actually remembered how. Okay, there's a menu, there we go. Okay, I don't need that much menu, just give me what I want. So we can see we have the settings. So we have 4x3, 4K, 60, up to 120 frames, cool. We have all the settings that you'd want. We can switch to camera as a photo mode. We can do the video mode. We can even view things that we have recorded on here. So this in itself is a fully capable device that does not need to connect to anything. It doesn't need updates. It doesn't need anything. It works out of the box. I don't give two shits what they want. You paid for this and you should be able to use it the way you want. Now, the reason I'm being so harsh about this because at the moment it might sound like, oh, it's just a connect to phone and whatever. But it's not really that. It goes much further. So by connecting it to the phone, basically you're forced to share your data. You already paid the fucking full price for this. There is no reason why they should be getting your data from your phone so they can sell it. You paid for this piece of shit. They can pay you for your data if they fucking want it. Otherwise, go fuck yourself. So, that's one thing. And another thing, which has been becoming more and more common in current corporate bullshitty kind of behaviors, which is changing the rules of the sale after the sale. So, this right now might be free. You might connect this to your phone and use it to full extent. You might use it for the entirety of its life cycle, however long it's gonna work for you. Or, what could happen, because it's not like you have a choice right here to not do this, when you connect to your device, maybe DJI decides to, in the future, you know what, we don't make enough money by selling these devices, let's add a subscription. Let's hide away, the 4K 120 behind the paywall subscription. And bada bing, bada boom, you no longer can use the device that you paid for in a way that it worked before. Because some greedy cuck at a corporation decided that, yeah, they want more money from you. And what you paid them turns out wasn't enough. It just suddenly you didn't know that before you bought it. And this is not like, speculations or anything like that. This is what has been happening now. For instance, one of the greatest things that comes first to my mind is with the Sony Xperia devices, phones specifically. So these devices could previously connect to their alpha cameras and be basically a viewfinder for those cameras. A much bigger display that is color accurate and all that jazz, right? It's probably one of the only reasons people actually bought these phones, because otherwise they were overpriced pieces of shit for how much they cost. And Sony decided, you know what, we haven't been evil enough. We're now gonna hide this under a subscription, even though you purchased this device originally and it didn't have a subscription. But here is a forced update that you can't deny, and now you get to pay us if you want to use the feature that you bought the device for. This has the same kind of precedent that could happen, because you're literally forced into using their application whether you like it or not. It opens you up for this kind of liability into the future where you don't have anything to say. If they decide that you will pay, then either you can pay or you don't get to use the devices and all of its features that came out of the box originally. And this is becoming, like I said, more and more common from corporations to kind of pull out. Another thing that they do is, for instance, we went bankrupt. We sold off the company to ourselves. And once we did, we decided, oh, this business model didn't work, so now most of the features are behind a subscription. It's anything like, substantial, just like $1 or $2 per month, whatever. If you look at it, it's not much. But it's not what you purchased this originally with in mind, to pay a subscription of $1 or $2. You purchased it full price. There is no reason for this to ever exist. So I don't recommend ever buying these devices, just because it's literally visible right here out of the box that these can work out of the box without the need of any kind of other accessories, meaning phones or anything like that, connections to internet, any other bullshit. It's just the company wants you to do this because then they can gather data and sell it. And you have nothing to say about it. Now, when you purchase a device at this price, like these ones cost, I don't accept any kind of fuckery happening that you are forced into. This works out of the box, or you can go fuck yourself. And that's basically what I recommend doing. Just return this and get something that doesn't require you to connect to a application to function. We used to have this as a standard feature. Something that is considered smart right now is absolutely just dog shit. There is no smart devices, because if they were smart, then they could fucking work without an additional software. But for some reason they can't. So if your smartwatch is so smart that it can't work without your phone, is it really smart? Because a normal watch could work without your phone. That seems a little bit smarter. So same thing goes for this one. If it can't work without your phone, is it really could be considered a smart camera or anything like that? Because technically, you could argue that this is a smart camera. It does have a lot of features, touch display, connections to internet or to your devices, Bluetooth, and so on. So it does have features that would imply that it is. But yet, the company refuses it to allow you to use this without a phone. So anyway, that's about it. A great package, as in, you know, what comes included in a box. The camera is decent, obviously. The just entire whole package is great. Just the software on here and the bullshitness that is happening for, you know, to basically blackmail you for your data, otherwise you won't be able to use this, I just find disgusting and a deal breaker for any kind of device. So that's just my approach. If you don't mind, you know, sharing your data and kind of opening up yourself that your device might not work like it was advertised, I don't know, sometime into the future, then that's great, you can pick it up. But if you are closer to how I am, then I recommend looking at some other things. So anyway, with that long rant on the topic of, I guess, security, privacy, and all that crap, along with the camera, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.